Stephen Colbert has officially lost the ratings battle with Fox News' Greg Gutfeld. Okay, maybe not forever, but the tides are turning. Stephen Colbert, y'all love to see him dance in that weird vaccine thing where the people dressed up like syringes and fluttered around the stage. Okay, no, that was really weird and creepy. Well, Greg Gutfeld has a show on Fox News, and it's not creepy. It's actually a bit funny. And for a while now, he's been rising in the ranks and now officially has upset the ratings. Colbert is out, and this is a big shift that we're starting to see. CNN's profits are down. They're laying people off. Their ratings are down. The tide is changing in the culture war. And we are winning. And it's actually really simple why. I don't believe we are winning the culture war. And when it comes to culture, I mean like TV shows and content, I don't think it's happening because we make the best stuff. Sorry, I just don't think that's the case. I think what's happening is they're making garbage stuff. Get woke, go broke. Have y'all seen the latest snippets from She-Hulk, dude? When She-Hulk is twerking in her office and I'm just like, oh, make the cringe stop. Or Miss Marvel. I mean, look, dude. The Marvel Cinematic Universe was huge. Big fan. It's kind of, Miss Marvel was awful. I skipped through most of it. I'm like, dude, you know what I want to see? I want to see someone with superpowers fight a bad guy and just be entertained. I live in a world of politics. I don't need it in my TV shows about superpowers. Instead, what ends up happening is every episode of that show, it's like, we have to go to India to save the day. Let me tell you about partition. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, partition. What's that all about? And then 10 minutes later, they're like, you see when partition happened. And then 10 minutes later, they're like, the thing about partition. And I'm like, dude, I get it. This is what they're doing. They're making woke garbage that nobody wants to watch. And then they're surprised they keep canceling their shows. And Netflix is seeing subscriber drop off. And the Daily Wire, it's taken off. More and more subscribers, more content, more movies. And we over here at Timcast, we're doing something similar. In a more social media kind of way, but also with music. I don't know if you checked out the Cast Castle vlog channel, but we put up Marjorie Taylor Greene's special cameo yesterday with Ian Crossland. We are making comedic bits, and we're bringing in, we have guests come. You know, we were thinking, we have these guests, these high-profile people. They come hang out at Timcast IRL. We have them on the show. Why don't we takes 5 minutes to film. We do some funny bits with these individuals. We had Jack Posobiec pull up on a little bike, ring, ring, and then deliver the Timcast scripts. We had Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, they call her, playing MTG, Magic the Gathering, funny bits. We've got more coming in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to keep making more stuff because they have abandoned the mountaintop of cultural dominance. They stood atop this mountain, looking at all of the little people and how everyone wanted to be like them and wanted to be where they were, and they said, you know what? Let's beat them over the head with Magic School Bus style TV shows. Yeah, okay. Doctor Who is a really great example. I like old Doctor Who episodes. Admittedly, I don't watch every single episode. But then they bring in that new doctor, the first female doctor. And apparently people are saying it's basically turned into the Magic School Bus. They hop in their TARDIS, the phone booth or whatever, the police box to travel through time. And then they end up like, welcome to partition. Like, no joke. They actually went to colonial India. And it's like, bro, what is up with this? Well, here's the news from Fans Cited. Greg Gutfeld has officially dominated Stephen Colbert's ratings. Good for him. I also want to show you something else, too. Many of you may have seen this. I love it. The Daily Beast writes, all is not what it seems, especially when it comes to Tim Pool. The hosts discuss his new song, which they think he's using to lure people into his right-wing world. Yes, I am the Pied Piper, playing my lute and dancing about as you all follow me down the path of conservatism, despite the fact that I'm like a centrist libertarian. These people have lost the plot. They're not cool. They're nerds. They're dorks. And I feel bad saying that because nerds and dorks, I'm actually, that's unfair. You see, a nerd is somebody who's really into, nerd, dork, and geek. Nerds are really into book smarts. Dorks are just not that socially apt. And geeks are super into things like Star Wars or something. I'm actually fine with all those people. These are squares. They're establishment, in the box, boring people. And this is what they think the world is all about. Let's talk about winning the culture war. We'll talk about this. If you want to support our work, click the link in the description below. It is our last day. Today is the final day for the calculations towards our sales and streams. So check out Only Ever Wanted in the description below. Purchase the song for 69 cents if you really want to support our work. And let's read this from Fansided. Fox News has broken its way into the late night landscape. The channel's primetime show Gutfeld was the most successful in the television category this month. Amazing. Colbert's Late Show has been unchallenged for some time until Greg Gutfeld stormed into the limelight. Fox News announced this week that Gutfeld averaged over 2.19 million viewers in comparison to Colbert's 2.15. Executive producer of the show, Tommy O'Connor, tweeted on Wednesday, "Yo, thanks for the support, Gutfeld fans. When we started the show, there were tons of doubters, but you fans believed in the show and joined the ride. Sincerely appreciate everyone who joins us every night." Regular viewers of the conservative network claim Colbert's loyalty to woke politics has played a major role in being dethroned as number one this month. Can I tell you why? Can I tell you what it's all about? Yeah, I'll tell you. You see, I put out a song, and then they claim it's a Pied Piper lure to the far right. At a certain point, people just say, okay, this is insane, man. This is not real life. Colbert's adherence to a narrative of hate eventually becomes tired and boring, predictable, not genuine, inauthentic. Look, I'll come out here and I'll say something good about Anna Kasparian of the Young Turks. I have no interest in talking about her opinions when her opinions are bad because I don't think it matters that much. But when she comes out and says something like, hey, there's a bunch of criminals roaming the streets of New York, why aren't these people in jail? I'm like, good question. Let's support that. And so when you come to watch a video like mine, many of my opinions, you'll probably guess. Some people are going to be like, I know he's probably not going to side with the right on this one for this reason. Perhaps. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes my opinion changes. But I'm not looking to always hate everyone. But that's all they do. Colbert, his whole show is, how can we hate MAGA today? It's like, dude, at a certain point, you're going to say they did a good thing, right? Donald Trump got gas prices down. Nope. Donald Trump took out the leader of ISIS. Nope. It's tiresome. Okay. I even tried giving Biden some credit when he sped up the timeline of the vaccines, but we'll see how that one turns out. Gutfeld may not be a passerby for political fact checkers, however. He continues to captivate millions of viewers a night. The host's presenting style of punchy insults and sarcasm has made him a Fox favorite over the years. And despite hosting his own primetime program, he vows to keep his spot on the panel show, The 5-2. When discussing the show, Gutfeld told Adam Carolla this month, I am counting on this show succeeding without names. The host went on to claim his show must create its own celebrities. Of course, in an attempt to suit the late night category it craves to compete in. Gutfeld went on to suggest that when he does attempt to bring on a big name, it nearly always turns safe and awkward. I know exactly what you're talking about, Greg. We have similar issues with Timcast IRL. And that's why, the show, Timcast IRL needs to survive just on me. We can't guarantee big names. We can't guarantee big guests. And big names sometimes come in and then they want to play it safe, politicians especially. But we want the conversations to be real and authentic. I'm sure Greg feels the exact same way about what he's doing, and you got to be careful. The show needs to be itself. People need to watch the show regardless of who's on it. That being said, there's hosts. Greg on his, Tim Pool, me, on mine. We try to make sure it's not going to be about big names other than the people hosting the show. And I think that's a fair and important point. And most importantly, it's working. Now, look, I don't know why people like Timcast IRL. Look, I talk a lot. People listen. I appreciate it. I really do. That's my thing. Some people like it. Some people don't. And I got to be honest, I think about where we are on IRL and how big we've gotten. And I'm just kind of like, all I know is I'm going to be me and talk about stuff. We're going to bring on guests. I have my convictions and my opinions. We brought on Podium Guy. I know it was a lectern, but everyone calls him Podium Guy. The guy from January 6th carrying the podium, we brought on Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys. He's been charged with, I think, seditious conspiracy. I'm going to bring on people to talk about what I want to talk about. That's it. That's what we're going to do. It's not about big names. It's about sometimes we bring on people with smaller followings. We want to have good conversations. And I think that's what people like. For Greg, I think a lot of it has to do with being sick and tired of wokeness. They stood atop the ivory tower and they screamed garbage at us. They spewed vomit down from the top floors. And we just got tired of it and said, let's go somewhere else. And that's the reality of what the song we produced is. Let me tell you, my friends, The Daily Beast has no choice but to hate me and then lie. Sam Cedar's show. We love Sam Cedar, right? They said Tim Pool released a song and it sounds like Nickelback. No, it doesn't. It probably sounds more like, I don't know, Thursday or Taking Back Sunday or something like that. I don't know. Something like that, I guess. People are saying it's more emo or whatever. And I'm like, I really don't care. I don't know what it is. I just know that we made a song. I like it. Do you like it? Maybe you don't. That's fine. Not everybody likes every genre of music. But what they're doing is they're saying, it's Nickelback. It's butt rock. It's like, okay, dude, butt rock is a reference to Nickelback. They're desperately trying to associate us with a band that they memed into hating. Nickelback's popular. It's not my jam. That's fine. But one of the biggest bands ever. And a lot of people do like Nickelback. That's fine. But what they're doing is they're saying we have to hate you no matter what. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if the production is good. It doesn't matter if even a lot of people like the song, because apparently it's doing really well for an initial release. Got 1 million+ streams or whatever. I don't want to say sales numbers yet. We do need, this is the final day for sales, but this is it. It's just about hatred. At a certain point, people say, I don't care about hating anymore. From the New York Times, profits slump at CNN as ratings plummet. The network is on pace to drop below $1 billion in profit for the first time in years, according to people familiar with its operations, amid steep declines in TV viewership. This guy, he gets it. He figured it out. What's his name? Chris Licht, I think his name is. Chris Licht. He was like, hey, Brian Stelter, all you do is hate on the right. That's boring. We got some big news coming up. Taiwan shot down a drone. Maybe World War III. I have a variety of content. Admittedly, there is a lot of, I don't know if hate is the right word, criticism and critique, but it is similar. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm particularly different in a lot of ways from anyone else in the culture war, namely on the left. They hate the right hates the left. We get it. But I'm trying not to be just generically in opposition to who they are for no reason. I'm trying to be legitimate in calling out what I think is bad problems, like child sex changes, for instance. I'll talk about the nuances of endocrine, am I getting it wrong? Disruptors and hormone disruptors. And try and be compassionate and understanding and introduce something to the conversation. Not perfect. Certainly not. Chris Licht over at CNN fired these people, and he's looking to fire more because he knows all they do is predictably hate on anything that is other. And it's boring. Look, I don't make a lot of segments about AOC. I did before when she was more prominent and more in the limelight. Make a lot of content about Joe Biden, but he's literally the president. I try to make content that matters. I try to talk about things that are important to your life and important to culture. But the people on the left, no matter what you do, they will find a way to hate it. Case in point, Don Lemon is shocked by Meghan Markle's admission that she's only recently begun to understand what it's like to be a black woman and says she's coming from a place of privilege. What are you talking about? What is this? It's vomitous garbage. Okay, dude. If you want to be a woke activist and come out and say these things, I literally don't care. If you want to come out on CNN, which is supposed to be the most trusted name in news, and say this insane garbage, I'm just going to be like, what are you doing, man? What is this? This is where we currently are. All it is predictable garbage hatred, and they'll fail. But you know who's smarter than all of them? Bill Maher. Yes, our good friend Bill Maher, who was late to the party, but nonetheless is at the party. So fine. Bill, you've made it to the party. Good for you. From Fanside, it calls for Bill Maher to get a show on Fox News after viral new rant. You see, this is a good example of adapting to change. And as they say, Darwin says, it is not the strongest that survive. It is those most adaptive to change. Bill Maher saw the writing on the wall. Bill Maher angers his once loyal liberal audience again this week after making a controversial and seemingly ill-researched rant. On Friday, the HBO host took on the issue of college, calling it a giant scam. Yes, you're correct. Thank you, Bill. Popular left-wing commentator Kyle Kalinske argued Maher's weekly talking points were slowly moving to the right when revisiting a real-time segment in 2021. This is interesting. Galinsky told his YouTube audience Maher was doing a flat-out conservative argument when the host suggested that those who don't go to college shouldn't be forced into a situation funding it. But he's right. What? Why do you want poor people to pay the rich people? Y'all have become elitist fascists. You are the bourgeoisie. You are not the proletariat. You are not the working class. Bill Maher, I think, understands this. This week, Maher spoke on Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, arguing against the mass demand in the U.S. for a degree. The host told his panel he believed college was a consumer product that they're selling you as a golden ticket. He's correct. One user on Twitter blasted the HBO host this weekend, saying Bill Maher doesn't approve of student loan forgiveness, even though he paid for his college by being a drug dealer. Dude should get a show on Fox News already. He's certainly out of touch enough for it. Another wrote, Bill Maher has become so Republican, libertarian, and wants students to drown in debt. Only true fact is the education is marketed so wealthy can keep public down. So few jobs, poor education at a huge price. I am sick of these people. Bill Maher's correct. He saw the writing on the wall. These are the laptop clash, the bourgeoisie. It's what Karl Marx talked about. They aren't the bourgeoisie, or whatever. They are not the wealthy elites, sort of. It's these people, the middle class. They think they're more deserving of you, and the only path to success is a white-collar laptop job. They don't realize that we need plumbers, carpenters, electricians, taxi drivers, limo drivers, bus drivers. We need all those jobs. We need chefs. We need burger flippers. We need people to wade through sewers, clearing out rat kings from pipes, and then allowing sewage to flow freely. We need petroleum engineers. Hey, they make a lot of money. But these people are convinced. I mean, a petroleum engineer, I don't know if you actually need a degree for that, but they're convinced the only path to success is a degree because they're in a cult. Because they are in a cult. It's a cult. Up in Canada, they're doing euthanasia now. Press 5 if you'd like to die. You think I'm kidding? We talked about it last night. That was crazy. We had Billboard Chris and Libby Emmons. And we were talking about how in Canada, you can call 811 and it's like, if you'd like to leave a message with assisted death, press 5. There was some veteran who apparently called because he was suffering from mental health issues, depression, and they said, would you like to die? We can euthanize you. And it's like, wait, what? Welcome to the brave new world, my friends. These people are in a death cult. And the only way they succeed in recruiting more people is by claiming that you are in the death cult. I can praise Bill Maher, an outright liberal who has been late to the party and called for a recession because he hated Donald Trump. Creepy, crazy. But Bill Maher, when he says something right, I'll praise him for it. Colbert, I'd bestow upon him the same gift. Only problem is he never does. He predictably just attacks anything other. Now they're coming for Bill Maher. Bill Maher mentioned a while ago that he's now playing for a mixed audience. Conservatives and liberals alike are coming to his shows. Well, good for you, Bill Maher. That's the way it's supposed to be. Viewers say Bill Maher has lost his mind after Hunter Biden coverage. Yeah. Twitter reacted. Is that your news, bro? Come on. Who cares about what Twitter thinks? Maher went on a scathing rant against America's mainstream media this week, claiming they deliberately buried the Hunter Biden laptop scandal. Claiming they literally did. Now look. Let's not pussyfoot around this. He was selling the influence of his father, Joe Biden. I mean, most political sons do. But let's not pretend at least that what was going on. So Hunter Biden's laptop was buried by the press, he told viewers. He continued, even the head of Twitter, Jack Dorsey, said that was a mistake. So Sam Harris says it was appropriate for Twitter and the heads of big tech and the heads of journalistic organizations to feel that they were in the presence of something that is once in a lifetime moral emergency, meaning Trump. So he's saying it's okay to have a conspiracy to get rid of somebody as bad as Trump. Bill Maher has lost his mind. Bill is adapting to change, and maybe it's because he's a grifter, or maybe it's because he's finally waking up. I recall when Bill Maher said, if a recession stops Trump, bring on the recession. Now he's saying they should not have censored this information. Okay, Bill, I appreciate it. I appreciate you finally coming around, but I don't trust you. I'd love to get Bill Maher on Timcast IRL. That'd be fantastic. I was a fan of Bill Maher for a really, really long time. He was a big influence on me growing up, believing in free speech and comedy. But then when the Trump era came around, dude lost his mind. You know what I think it was? I think Bill Maher flirted with the psycho cult because he was like, if this is the left and I'm on the left, it's what I have to do. And for people like me, I was like, bro, principle matters more than whatever it is you're doing. I would rather sleep under a tree with a shiny little apple and a book and read my book and be left alone than it is to pander to you psychopaths in your cult. Well, you don't win that one. There's a graph that I mentioned recently. It showed an economic scale and then a social justice scale. The Democrats were all spattered perfectly in a center in the bottom left of social justice and economic, like communism. The right was evenly distributed away from social justice narratives, but economically left and economically right. It's quite amazing, isn't it? Almost no one was social justice identitarian and economically right wing. Almost no one. It's fascinating how that works out. The Democrats are in a cult. They believe psychotic cult things. We can't function this way, man. We need change. We need reality. We need truth. We need people like Bill Maher to start speaking up, and he is. We need new culture. We need people like Tom McDonald to succeed. We need the Daily Wire to succeed. Timcast.com, I would love it if it did. And we are building culture with new songs. And we've got another song coming out in just a few weeks. And we're going to keep doing it. We're going to put out a new song every 4 weeks, nonstop, forever. Because we're going to be signing a bunch of different artists. And we're going to be making good music for fun. Because it is all fun. And that's ultimately what it's about. Are you having a good time? I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time making fun of these psychopaths. My friends, if you would like to help me lure people into my right-wing world, click the link in the description below. And then maybe we'll win. Bravo, the Daily Beast. Thanks for making a commercial for me. I couldn't have done it better myself. Stephen Colbert is out. He's still big, but Gutfeld winning? Big news. Glad to see it. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 4 p.m. over at youtube.com/Timcast. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.